Rahul Gandhi once said that a rising tide doesn't raise people who don't have a boat. We have to build the boat for them. We have to give them the basic infrastructure to rise with the tide. The Focus 2030 Comprehensive Plan lays out goals and objectives pertaining to water and wastewater, solid waste, stormwater management, public safety, schools, libraries, and telecommunications. As 2030 approaches, we must make sure these goals are met in order to continue the rising tide of prosperity this community enjoys. To do this, our community relies on our partner providers, Bowling Green Municipal Utilities and Warren County Water District for water and wastewater, Bowling Green Municipal Utilities, Warren Rural Electric and Tennessee Valley Authority for electric, Warren County Public Works for solid waste management, Warren County and City of Bowling Green Public Works for stormwater management, private utility providers for natural gas and telecommunications, and for public safety we have Bowling Green Police and Fire, our Warren County Sheriff and County Volunteer Fire Departments, and our WKU Police for campus. Warren County and Bowling Green Independent Schools, private school providers, and WKU and Sky CTC provide our educational opportunities. And our Warren County Public Library provides enrichment facilities and activities, not to mention our numerous nonprofit and private agencies. It is important to continue to plan with all of these agencies to ensure adequate infrastructure is available to continue and build upon our successes so everyone in our community has an opportunity to rise with the tide. Session 6 is a review of our community facilities element. Our first and only goal under community facilities is to provide community facilities and services that meet the physical, social, and cultural needs of the population of Warren County and its municipalities. Our first objective in general is to ensure the provision of adequate public facilities and related services to meet the demand of existing and future residents and associated commercial and industrial growth. Sewer is always one of the major indicators of where development's going to go, and we've done a pretty good job of expanding sewer and to keep up with our existing and future growth. And typically electric is everywhere and water, but when you have a major announcement such as our community was fortunate enough to have with our Envision battery plant that's coming, sometimes changes the horizon a bit and accelerates and expands the need for growth. So over the next 5 years, as that project develops, as well as other industrial, commercial, and residential projects, we're going to have to keep a closer eye and plan and sequence the expansion of our utilities and our infrastructure to keep up with that growth. Which leads to water and sewer, ensure and appropriately stage efficient provision of water and sewer infrastructure to support the planned incremental growth of the community. Then CF3 is solid waste. Pursue active county participation in regional planning for solid waste facilities to ensure adequate landfill capacity to serve the needs of the projected population through the end of the comprehensive plan horizon and beyond. Warren County Public Works is currently updating the solid waste management plan for Warren County and has also recently completed a process of bidding out solid waste services in both the city of Bowling Green and the balance of Warren County. That includes solid waste pickup as well as recycling, which is curbside recycling coming back to the community, which is a good thing. CF4 Stormwater, in coordination with other responsible agencies, continue to develop and implement programs to manage stormwater runoff, to prevent flooding, address water pollution, and improve the quality of the county's and the region's water bodies. Both Warren County Stormwater and the City of Bowling Green Stormwater have very active roles in completing this objective and have taken some pretty significant recent efforts to up the game, up the regulatory game and the monitoring game to have a greater impact in those areas. So a lot of good progress has been made over the past several years, and more is planned. So encourage you to look at the resources for this community facilities element, check out their web pages and see the types of activities that they are undertaking. CF5's public safety, something that's often talked about. It's in coordination with responsible agencies, continue to monitor the community needs for expansion of staff and facilities to meet fire and police protection. In fire, we've seen several new stations go up, both in the county volunteer fire departments and the city, to address our expanding populations, increasing populations, and areas of need. For police, which is talked about a lot, so do we have enough police protection? So I just wanted to give some general numbers here based on its FBI data. This was in a recent article of Governing Magazine. But the average need, this is a nationwide average, is approximately 14.3 officers per 10,000 people. That was the 2016 data. So just taking that 14.3 officers per 10,000, we just look at our general population numbers. So currently we have 131,000 persons according to the 2020 census in Warren County. So if you take that 13.1 times the 14.3 standard, we get a general need of 187 sworn officers. So if we look at what we have 111 city police, 71 sheriff's deputies, 2 officers in Smiths Grove, and 1 in Woodburn. So we have a total of 185 officers. Obviously, those numbers fluctuate with recruitment, retirements, attrition, hirings, firings, all that good stuff. So, but as of the data I found, we had 185 officers. And the needs 187, so we're right there. If we break that down a little further, city police, you look, city covers just under 72,000 people. That it's 103 officers. We have 111. You look at the sheriff's deputies, the sheriff's department. If you take Bowling Green out of the population of Warren County, you have 59,000 people. So it equates to about 84 officers. So that we have about 74 in Warren County. So that's just based on those numbers, only about 10 less than the need. But take that with a grain of salt, because every article I read said it really depends on the community's goals for public safety and the type of policing they do and the areas they cover. And all of those things play a factor in how many officers are actually needed. So this may or may not be the best indication, but it just wanted to give some number to show that we have pretty good, in some cases more than adequate coverage, and maybe a little less in the county, but it's not maybe as far off as some people might imagine. So what will we need in 2030? 2030, our population projection from the Kentucky State Data Center is 157,000 people. So if you take that 15.7 times 14.3, we'll need about 225 sworn officers for our community by 2030. So we need to continue to try to recruit officers and hire and add to the staff to have adequate public safety, adequate public safety coverage as we grow as a community. This is one of the challenges that the local government faces when we have the rapid growth we do. Moving along, looking at Objective 6, our schools. Coordinate with Warren County Public Schools and Bowling Green Independent School District to identify school sites consistent with the Comprehensive Plan's policies for growth and development. The Planning Commission staff is part of the local planning committees for both the city and the county school districts, so we are involved with that, and do have regular conversation with both school staffs about growth and areas of growth, and where might be locations for schools or locations that are high growth that in certain school districts. Objective 7, looking at WKU, continue to coordinate efforts with WKU to ensure that the institution's growth is served in a manner that minimizes negative impacts on areas surrounding the school's local campuses, while capitalizing on the advantages of a positive university host communities synergy. Likewise, there is a master planning committee at WKU, and planning staff as well as city staff does have a role on that, and set and have those discussions that concern all of these things. And WKU has generally tried to develop all their new buildings and facilities within the existing bounds of the campus, and trying to promote a car-free campus. I won't say there's not parking issues there, but they do a great job of managing that. Community Facilities 8, libraries. Develop and implement a plan to meet future community needs for library services. Our local public library has made quite a few changes here in the recent years to move different branches around, open new branches, maybe close some branches that weren't getting much activity. So they continue to look at, monitor, and adjust where their services are needed, and do a very good job at adapting to, I guess, changing societal times. CF9, telecommunications. Promote the development of a state-of-the-art telecommunications network throughout the county. Recent efforts and ongoing efforts to increase broadband and fiber to the home have really taken off here in the past year or two, and are really maybe at a peak right now, or starting to get to a peak. We have both public efforts and private efforts. We have Warren County Fiscal Court initiating the fiber to the home projects that is in really almost every part of the county at this point, planned anyway. And then the city of Bowling Green has had recent efforts to improve internet networking services in the city. And then there's also the state and federal governments providing monies to some of the private utility providers to serve other areas of Warren County. So lots of efforts going on in that, and expect to continue to build that infrastructure over the next 2-3 years and beyond. Then CF10, sustainability. Encourage resource conservation and sustainability. We have several great organizations in our community that participate in those activities, including our public stormwater folks, as well as our resource conservation and agriculture cooperative extension service offices. So what's next? We'll have a session 7 video coming up, hopefully within the first part of August. It'll be on transportation. And then in the latter part of August, August 22nd, to have a public discussion and input with our Metropolitan Planning Organization and our Technical Advisory Committee folks. Some of them be there to hopefully gather input and have a discussion on the transportation element of the comprehensive plan. So that next input meeting will be Monday, August 22nd at 5:30 p.m. in the Neighborhood Community Services Community Room at 701 East Main Avenue. So that's at the top of Hospital Hill by the water tower. So if you go up to that building, they have a lower entrance at the back of the building, and the community room is kind of in that lower main entrance there. So that's all we have for you for this video. If you have any questions, just give us a call or email us, and we'll be happy to discuss something with you. Thank you.